Alright, welcome back to part 2 of this Final Fantasy IV walkthrough here on Video Games 101 as we return to Mysidia. Blaze, do you have any recommendations for us?
As with most new purchases, I always recommend prioritizing Cecil, as he's always in the party. Specifically, grab him the Paladin Armor and Helmet, also known as the Knight's Armor and Lustrous Helm, respectively. These both protect against undead attacks for what it's worth, and you can grab Tellah Gaia Helmet, also known as the Wizard's Hat, which protects against petrification, and Silver Armlet, which protects against ghoul attacks. But all this will be an appreciable upgrade if you haven't gotten them yet. Don't worry about getting anything for Pelham or Porum. Just saying.
Yeah, he's not wrong. Bit of a spoiler there, but good call. Thank you very much, Blaze. Shopping accordingly here. Keep thinking back to that cure rod back in the first Final Fantasy. That was always nice. Using that as an item, and then even though it took a long time, I just thought that was extremely cool when I was a kid. Using that and then having every party member get, maybe 20 to 30 HP back. Good times. Sell off the ring. Always like that heal staff in the first Final Fantasy. Well, we did it. You thought it was a fool's errand. Probably just sent Palmaporum to bring my corpse back. But guess what? Oh, you had a spy on us. Okay, well that was my second guess. We did deserve it, yeah. We killed a lot of your friends. I found it on Mount Ordeals. Here we go. That classic background, one to be born from a dragon, hoisting the light and the dark. Arises high up in the sky to the still land. Veiling the moon with the light of eternity, it brings another promise to Mother Earth with a bounty and mercy. Light called me son. What's that about? Ah, it does that to everyone. Told a wish for the legend, and we think that that's you. We're the Neo of this universe. Tellah. Everyone knows Tellah. It's more fitting now that he knows how to use all the spells. Yeah, he knows the legendary Meteo. Except, I think when the light gave you the spell, I think it was more like, don't use it for revenge. We meant for you to open a soup kitchen with that spell. Don't use it to kill anyone, Tellah. Nah, he's gotta do what he's gotta do. Gotta avenge his daughter, Anna. I realize I pronounce it Anna and Anna, just like to include everyone. No matter how you pronounce it for yourself. He's gonna wish for us. Guess we can agree that's basically a good thing. And Pelham and Porum are going to hang out for a bit longer. Alright. It's like, the same kind of language, another Squaresoft game in Secret of Mana. Please look after this little sprite. Thanks, old man. Alright, so now we can sneak into Baron by way of the Serpent Road. Maybe get our hands on an airship of our own. Even the score here. Your light was so dim, but now it's dazzling. Your aura, man. It's purple. That's fair. They won't turn us into frogs anymore. I think that the lady at the bar, she'll still dance us into a pig form, but... Well, let's pop into this room and take the Serpent Road. Back to Baron. Hold your breath. Optional. But we're trapped in here. Now you can always just walk to the back side of any closed door that you see like that. But we're back in Baron. So before we enter the tavern where we ultimately need to go, we're going to head back down for a little shortcut. Not shortcut, a diversion. Little detour. Grab ourselves a chocobo and let's head up to that village we burned down. Remember Mist? Let's just speed through this, actually. Warp speed. No reason to waste our time on these lowly enemies. But cutting through here, we can grab a couple items which we left or didn't have access to back in Mist, unless we did the trick. But most of the buildings are not accessible, so the first hidden thing we can find, go through the trees here. Find yourself a cure and a heal. Not worth the trip alone. Actually, not really. Most of this isn't really worth the trip alone, but pop in the inn, you can grab yourself from the, it's actually relatively cheap staying here. It's Baron as well, it'd be like $50, but yeah, it's certainly better than staying back at Mysidia, where they kind of gouge you, which again, you killed a lot of their friends. It's to be expected, it's only fair. History of Mist, yeah, you don't have to rub it in. I feel really bad about it. Alright, get out of the way, friend. Badly, even. $100? Not enough that we burned the place down. Killed the callers. And then this is Rydia's house, I believe. So pop in the unlit fireplace. And pop back here to find yourself a tiara. Another ruby ring, and we're not done. But wait, there's more. Go through the wall here and drop down here to find a change staff, which can be used to, turn enemies into different things if you're using it in battle. And we'll give Porum the tiara.
The tiara, also known as the gold hairpin, resists against lightning and can only be equipped by the female members of the party and grants 10 extra intelligence to its wearer. The change rod, also known as the polymorph or apparite rod, grants 5 extra intelligence, wisdom, and casts pig on your foes when used as an item.
And now that we've successfully and fully looted what remains of Mist, let us return at warp speed back to Baron, where we'll run into yet another old friend who might not be as excited to see us as we are them. Take a guess. Who might it be? Only so many people we've come in contact with. Edward? Cain? Rydia? I think I said he. Yang? All good options. But back here in Baron, enter the inn. Maybe after you've had a chance to rest up. Want to dance? I still want those dancers. There's the chest we looted earlier. Here's Yang. It was Yang, after all. Look at me, I'm a paladin now. Get him. Never liked pay, just walk right through that lady. Couple guards and Yang. Gary?
Boss beater.
It's just a couple of guards and then Yang. Just use Twin or Fire 2 to put the guards down fast. Then up the ante with Twin and Fire 3 from Tellah to put him down fast.
Simple as. Thank you very much, Gary. Love the comment right there. Reminds me of something from Super Mario RPG, which admittedly this game predates by many years, but anyway. Yang, it's me. I know that. I never liked you, Cecil. Alright, I'll fight you. Always kind of bothers me when you have people who will come in hot, literally. Like, I know for a fact, Yang, you did not have 1,000 HP when you were in the party last time. Now all of a sudden you have 3,500 at least? Like, what are you on? Not even mad that you're trying to kill us, I just want to know what your secret is, or was. There you go. Down goes Yang. Yeah, apparently Yang's on level 60 or something. Alright, so he was mind-controlled as well. Apparently that's a party trick of Golbez's. Don't love that. Alright, Yang back in the party. Got a full party of 5 people once again. So we just walked through that poor lady. Maybe she's a ghost, I don't know. Anyway. Beat the guards, that's great. Stay in my inn. I swear, half the inns that we stay in are for no cost after we've done this or that, but yeah, I can't keep track of who knows each other or not at this point. This is Yang, he's a karate man. This is Tellah, You're probably the only person in the world who doesn't know who Tellah is, actually. You heard us, man. I love Palom. Ah, the Key of Baron. A little irresponsible of Golbez to just make 1,000 copies of those and give them out to every underling that he mind controls. But we'll take it. Alright, so you might not know this or remember this or have tried this, but early on in the game, we killed all those people. If you try to go into the weapon shop here in Baron, you'll find it's locked. But now that we've got the Baron key, here we go. And that guy just kind of gave away that we can walk behind the counter, actually. Thank you for that. I would have told everyone, but... So we have claws we can buy. We got the karate armor right there, which is actually pretty decent, but we cannot afford it right now. We might step back and get some of that later for one of the most annoying parts of the game, and if you played this before, you know exactly what I'm referring to. It has something to do with the part of the game when you can't use metal objects, metal armor, metal weapons, but pop down in the bottom right to walk through here and grab yourself Thunderclaw for free right there. That's why we don't buy one right there. We just get one for free. Pop on the Thunder Staff or the Chain Staff on Tellah. Give the other one to Palom. And now we're cooking. Give Porum the Cure Staff. We're looking good. Nicely kitted. So now we can use our Baron key again on this leftmost door to enter the old waterway, so we can enter Baron because there's a couple guards guarding the gate of Baron. Don't miss the 1000 GP right there. And nothing too crazy here in the waterway. Relatively a straight shot to get through the back door of Baron. I'll say it again. I say this every time, every class. The water levels, the sewer levels in particular, and I'll call this, I think this qualifies. It's an old waterway. I think we can all agree that this is the waste dump for Baron. This is where all the chamber pots get dumped. Yeah, it's just some of the worst areas in games. So grindy. Not in the strict sense of the word, but it's not my favorite. Just seeing if these alligator, crocodile, and fang shells are worth our time. Something tells me they're not. Few chests to be grabbed down here at the bottom. Cure 2, Ether 1, Life. See, we're quietly amassing a nice little stockpile of items, which we'll undoubtedly need much more urgently later on in the game. I was gonna say, that was a nice stretch there, didn't want to jinx it. Nice stretch of not running into anybody. Yeah, the alligator and the crocodiles don't seem to care that we became a paladin. They're not affected by holy damage. Good guy damage. Now we're talking. Get some tasty lit too. Always nice to save a spell from Tellah as well. 852. So you can see that was a lot more work than we were putting into being on top of the mountain ordeals. Granted, we have an extra party member, so we're getting a bit more experience from that fight, but I would say the time that's going into it is not worth it comparatively. So. Kind of hug the left wall here to make sure we get all the treasure. And we have some more of these cut-throughs here you can see. Bit more difficult to distinguish versus the background colors that we had earlier on. But we can cut through nonetheless. Life. Just a nice little channel of hidden areas around here. Love the choices they make sometimes when they are limited to 8 characters with some of these enemy names. Crocodile. Aqua Worm. And then it gets confusing when you're trying to do best here, and then you just cut through right here. Just trying to talk about these enemies, and they've just gone on to have completely different names in subsequent versions of this game, so. Cut through here. And get yourself another ether. Shouldn't be worrying about running out of MP anytime soon. B1F. Stop in here to get some loot over to the right. You can see that there, but also pitch a tent. Been a while. Let's get another save on the books. Been nearly an hour in game time. Maybe not in game time, but you know, real time. The ancient sword. You can see it's a step down from the legendary sword. But not one without its uses, its purpose. Those Hydras, very similar animations they had in the first Final Fantasy. So many random encounters. Alright, popping out the backside of Baron here. Again, in the sewage. We will establish that. We pop around here. Like the little, I don't know if that's like a little bear, dragon, tiger, monkey. Not sure what that animal's meant to be on the shield. The official mascot of Baron. Leave a comment. What do you think that is? And we'll run into another, well, not friend. This is the guy that kind of got us fired. It's Baigan, captain of the guards. Huh. I thought we had a party cap of 5. Nothing suspicious about having a 6th party member when 5 is the max. Smells like a monster. You tell him, kids. Can't you act a bit better? Alright, Baigan.
Boss beater.
Given enough time, Baigan will cast a wall on himself. If you're fast enough like the Professor, you can get away with casting a level 3 spell and the twin ability fast enough to seriously chip away at that health, if not outright take him down combined with the efforts of the rest of the party. Once the boss does cast a wall on himself, have Tellah cast a wall on himself, then aim your most powerful offensive spells at Tellah to safely redirect them at Baigan. Note the Palmenporum's twin move is a roll of the dice, as Comet is unaffected by the wall, whereas Flare will be reflected. Otherwise, just have Cecil and Yang work the body.
Thank you, Gary. Simple as. What happened to your body? Right arm and left arm? Alright. So no walls actually came up that time. That's the easy way to take him down. We were not happy to let bygones be bygones in that fight. Such low-hanging fruit, I can only apologize. So before we head to the throne room, might as well loot the place, right? Call this our, more of our severance package right here. It's all the money I'm sure they would have paid us in time. If we'd stuck around to keep killing innocent people and stealing stuff that didn't belong to us in the name of the king. Not sure who maintains these torches, by the way. It's always the eternal question in these games. When these places seem to be otherwise deserted. So many chests. And enough time. We're not in a hurry. Get this chest, you gotta come back up the stairs. Get it on the return trip. Do not miss that elixir, though. That is a great freebie to be found in a pot. Probably the best thing you'll find in this game in a pot. And then a mysterious unknown power keeps us out of that area. Such a lazy way of explaining that away. Okay. Mysterious unknown power. Oh, yeah. Free ether right there, a freether. Alright, now that we've adequately cleaned out Baron, that's what you get for firing Cecil. By the way. Anything else around here? Can I go through here? Yeah, I think that's it. So before we head to the throne room, you may or may not want to unequip Palmenporum. We have a boss battle coming up, but they're going to be leaving the party after we go through that. So just for what it's worth. I don't want to say anything more beyond that because it bums me out. We can finally crash in Cecil's bed. We finally have access to it. Once again. Not sure what happened to our caretaker, our maid lady. Maybe she got a promotion. Maybe she's second in command behind Golbez in the Red Wings. Nothing was surprised. She was great at her job. Not even joking. Alright. So let's head to the throne room. Again, if you want to unequip all that stuff from Palmenporum, now is the time to do it. sadly. This room. Referenced it earlier. King does not look happy. Oh, I guess it was just, yeah. Looks like he's just really rocking that eyebrow at us. You become a paladin. That's not good. That's not good at all, Cecil. I hate good. Good is dumb. Oh, you're one of the 4 fiends. It's Kainazzo, everybody. The giant water turtle. It's like a evil Squirtle. The fiend of water, Kainazzo.
Boss beaters.
Similar to the first boss we fought, the Mist Dragon, Kainazzo or Kainazzo intermittently has a move called Gathering the Water, which, if you attack him when it's in effect, he'll counter with a powerful attack. That said, you can put this boss down ridiculously fast by pairing a couple quick attacks from Cecil and Yang, one use of Palm and Porum's twin, and most importantly Tellah's Lit 3. This spell alone does about 4,500 damage, so after that, it doesn't take much more to quickly put this boss down.
Thank you, Gary. Love the little wall of water right there. Just amazing command over that water to keep it stationary like that. Ouch! Oh, you one-shot that, Tellah. I mean, with a little help from us, but that is a satisfying win. Do all the elementals do that? Ding! I mean, they did just open up a cash register. That's literally what it sounds like. We did just make $4,000, so. You imposter. Oh, it's Sid, everybody! I like Sid's piece of music here. Once again, though, you know we can't have 6 people in the party, so you abused my airship, and now Rosa. Lead us to the airship. Who's this strange old man? Sid's got some good lines, too. I love it. Mr. Sid, this is Master Tellah. He's a great mage. This is Yang, the karate master of Fabul. I'm Porum. That's Palom over there. My twin brother. Yeah! Sid's like, I don't care. At least this guy knows. Yeah, where'd you hide it? Where nobody would suspect. Maybe behind that sealed wall that no one can get beyond? Or barrier? Oh, Palm and Porum. Why? You didn't expect you to defeat me. Wait, second form for Kainazzo? Or just one last dirty trick? Closing in. Pal and Porum. Thanks, dude. We love to be with all of you. We won't be stuck in a place like this. Like, they just know that they can do this. Nice. I mean, very sad. They sacrificed themselves for us. That's alright. Nothing a little heal won't fix. Oh wait. They're stoned of their own volition. Right. To put it another way. Yeah, well, you didn't step up, Tellah. Palm and Porum are gone. Rydia's gone. Edward's go. I don't really care about Edward, but wait for me, Golbez. He says that a few times. Wait for me. Meanwhile, another cutaway. Be ascending this time, Golby. Yep. You're 0 for 2 with those fiends. About the last crystal, how about we let Cecil get it for you? You already forget who we were, Golbez. It's actually pretty clever on Kane's part. Alright. Yep, Rosa has a sister, Kane. You just had to ask. I don't know if she does, but guess we know how he really feels. Ah, sneaky. You always gotta have that long stairway when you go to the airship, like in Final Fantasy VI. Setzer. Can't wait to do a class on that one. Let's go, Enterprise. We got the airship music again. And we get hailed quite quickly. Have we got guns on this thing, by the way? All the other airships seem to have cannons on them. God, even as a kid, I was like, that's so dangerous. Just putting this little plank between the two airships. It'd be so easy to just pull our end. Get me the Crystal of Earth of Toroia. Toroia? Crystal or Rosa's life. Come on, Kane. We used to be bros. Before we head to Toroia, however you want to pronounce it, we're going to make a little detour, get some loot, which we wouldn't be able to get until, well, we can get it right now, so why wait? There's a sword in it for us. So let's head south and west a bit down to the kingdom, or what's left of it, of Eblan. Oh, by the way, Sid's in the party now.
Sid is a pretty vanilla addition to the party, just purely being a fighter, and not an especially good one either. He does have the peep ability, which is the same as I mentioned earlier as the spell in that it tells you the HP of an enemy or boss plus any weaknesses they have, but with Gary on staff, that's not too important. He wields hammers and axes and can work a bow, and you'll typically just be doing physical attacks with him, if not using items to keep everyone's health or MP topped off.
Thank you, Blaze. We are now in Eblan Castle. And aside from some chest monsters, there's no battles to worry about here. To get these chests back up a little bit, it's a little sneaky. Put Tellah next to me here for this first battle. And Staleman, he's the one to really worry about here.
Alright, Staleman, also known as the Steel Golem, is a real threat in this battle, dishing out big damage with his melee attacks. Fortunately, he's weak against ice, so as soon as you get to Tellah's turn, cast Ice 3 exclusively on him to kill him in a single shot after he hopefully only has time to get 1 or 2 hits off on you. The skeleton entourage are weak against fire, but concentrated attacks from the rest of the party will take most of them out without this being necessary. Win the battle and earn yourself a very nice upgrade for Cecil and the Slumber Blade, which is 15 attack greater than your existing sword.
Good call, Blaze. Thank you very much. There's something in Japan where rocks are weak against water. It applies to Pokemon as well. Like, Squirtle was always the guy for taking down, Geodudes and whatever those evolved into. It's been a while. Not up on my Pokemon anymore, but... Nicely done, Sid. His victory grin. Good experience, but that's not a battle we can replicate. But there it is, the Slumber Sword.
The Slumber Sword, also known as the Sleep Blade, is a powerful upgrade in terms of the base damage, but also has the added benefit, as the name suggests, of giving you a 1 in 3 chance of putting susceptible enemies you use it on to sleep. Note that you can also just use the sword as an item to cast sleep.
Thank you, Blaze. Not sure why the sword never caught on as a sleeping aid. Very useful, actually. So the other chests we cannot access from that floor. We need to come in from this floor. And we can get these chests as well. Some mute arrows, which are very powerful. But this is how you get to this ether. Cure 2. Then go to the throne room to access the rest of these treasures. Go to the sides here. A couple hidden areas on the left and right. Nothing groundbreaking in terms of the items you'll find here, but still, as we're here. And then come around to get that cabin. It's our first cabin, actually. Beefier tent. Still makes me laugh. The idea of carrying around a cabin in our pants. There you go. Suspend your disbelief at the door. Probably not the worst idea to pop outside and pitch one of those tents. As we got some more tough chest monsters awaiting us. The sword was the main thing to grab around here. There is one more item of note. Here in the right tower, go behind this little column, pop out. Oh yeah, it's a pop-up cabin. Inflatable cabin. And again, to get that one, gotta come around. And we got some more chest monsters waiting for us. You can get this chest by coming around this way. And this is not as dangerous as that last battle. Didn't put anyone to sleep yet. Bluster! Sid has like a pipe. I guess it's his beard, but like when he holds his hands together, it looked like it was his pipe or something. It's just a really big beard. There we go. Put that black cat to sleep. Not my definition of black as a color, but and just us and the Lamia now. Oh. Don't fall for her siren song, Sid. Immediately. Hey, wait. You just punched me, lady. How to bring you back to your senses. Another decent bit of experience right there. Again, we're down to a 4-piece right now, so. But there you go, the Drain Lance.
The Drain Lance is a perfect example of not falling for the attack power of a weapon alone. While the Lance will restore Kain for whatever damage he does per hit, it has a minus 28 accuracy rating with minus 10s in a bunch of categories. Yeah, there's a reason you can only sell this thing back for about $130.
Sell price don't lie, thank you, Blaze. Alright, so that's the lat, and then drop down there, and then drop down here, and then this is the basement. This will exit us out of here. So this chest on the right, I may regret doing this one. I don't recommend this one, actually. 3 mad ogres. This is not an easy out.
Yeah, this is a bad idea, Professor, but seeing as we're already in it, each of them has a whopping 1700 HP, and they hit hard, and they get a lot of turns to do it. One saving grace is that they're susceptible to sleep, so your new Slumber Blade can randomly buy you some time here and there to help you avoid taking some hits. While you might try getting cute, putting one to sleep, then moving on to another, I find the best strategy is to simply focus all of your attacks on one enemy at a time to take them down as quickly as possible. While Tellah's sleep spell has a chance of working, he gets so few turns that you're better off sticking with offensive spells, even though there's no guarantee that his level 3 spells will do any appreciable damage. Still, when they do, it's worth it for up to 600 or 700 damage. Yang is arguably the weakest link here, so have him and occasionally Sid reaching into your Cure 2 items and giving them to Cecil to keep everyone on their feet, especially Cecil, to block for everybody else when they will get close to death. In case you couldn't tell, I absolutely recommend skipping this battle for now, especially given all we get is an elixir, which is nice, but not worth the risk.
Now you tell me. Actually, I think I told myself before we did this. 595, that's not bad. They look so angry. They're the angriest looking baddies that I've seen. Alright, we got this. Just kind of grinned and bared it. Alright, well, let's just keep Cecil on his feet here. Might as well. Cecil's the one blocking for everyone, so well, that's fine. If at the end of this Cecil's the only one who survives, I'm not mad about him getting all the XP, actually. He's the only one who's not a revolving door in this party. Everyone just keeps leaving at their whim. Okay, sometimes sacrificing themselves in more ways than one. So we use this downtime to get ourselves back on our feet. Tell us some MP back. Burn that big boy, Tellah. Put him down. Yes, you can, Mac. Yeah, it looks like he had a trunk or something sit when he's got his hands up like that. Not sure what that animation is. There you go. He's close. It's like a cotton candy periwinkle. I'm not sure how to describe that color on Cecil's hair. I'm gonna say it's tough to get Cecil to be the only one alive when he's the one blocking for everybody else. Well, let's see what we get from it. 1777, there you go. And it's not worth it for the elixir, I think? Yep. I mean, elixirs are good. They're few and far between, but we also found one in a pot not too long ago, so didn't have to work nearly as hard for that one. There you go. Now let's head to Mithril, stop off and spend some of our money on some... Silvera, excuse me. I know this is Mithril in some of the other versions of the game. Silvera. Where, can you guess, they sell a lot of silver stuff. We can find some stuff for free. Like 5,000 bucks. A silver dagger. Frog. working the counter. So the Silver Sword is not as good as the Slumber Sword, so we're going to leave it. I'll show you a great dance. Come on, brothers. I like these guys. Just miniature people, frogs, piggies. Even though it looks more like a stuffed teddy bear. Just dancing to the Chocobo song. I don't know, it's probably the best dance we've seen, if I'm honest. Especially if I don't end up as I wake up as a pig at the end of this. Bonus points for that. Alright. Very nice. Alright, so yeah, we get some silver stuff for Cecil, acknowledging that, yeah, we can't use it in this next area. That said, we're gonna run through the entire dungeon just because it's my least favorite part of the game. It's an area where we cannot use anything metal, anything metallic. Sid's hammer's okay. We'll have to use a bow and arrow if we want to do any damage. Just, I guess for the full experience, we'll go ahead and pretend like we're kidding ourselves out the way that you're meant to go through there. Alright, so now let's finally head to Toroia, however you want to pronounce that, which is just north and a bit to the west. At least of Baron. It's this tiny little spot where you can find a place to park, thankfully. And you can check out this older man perving out on these ladies. Go away. Alright. Fair enough. Your armor will rust. Yes, I do kind of want to swim together. But I should probably get back to rescuing our girlfriend. Alright, so from the water, come all the way up to the top here. That lady's not dead, by the way. She's just sunbathing. But you can cut through the trees. And there should be 4 items, I want to say, to be found here in these bushes. Twin harps, you say. Here you go. Ether 2. Not too shabby. So in the cafe here in town, you can make kind of an exorbitant purchase for our means at the moment in something called a pass, which, well, Fluff, how about you tell us?
In our version of the game, the pass just unlocks a brief scene. For the more modern 3D versions, this gives you the Guild Farmer Augment, which will earn you more money in that version. Incidentally, though, that'll cost you $100,000 to earn it in that version of the game, but yes, nothing important for our purposes.
Still nice to experience it just the same like that. Thank you, Fluff. That would be an irresponsible purchase, to say the least. So here I am buying back some of those ruby rings that I sold earlier. Money's not too much of an issue moving forward, for the most part. Get a great bow. Just to kind of piece together some... I love the music here, by the way, in the actual kingdom. One of my favorite pieces in the game. Be polite. We're always polite. We had 8 wise men in the first game. Now we have the 8 ladies here. 8 clerics. Yeah, there you go. And more loot to be found. Ether right there. And just hit this switch 8 times, or 4 times to get the 8 chests. Pretty decent haul right there. A couple tents. A couple Kier 2s. Couple more ruby rings. That's why we only bought 1 back in the town. Should have enough for everybody now. Those don't get affected. Plus, they save us from the form changing. But musical genius, that Mr. Oimatsu. I'm the guardswoman. It's not a leotard. It's a combat uniform. Excuse me. I like this place better than any other, and the music is pretty choice. The Dark Elf took the Crystal of Earth, unfortunately. Metals get heavy in the Cave of the Northwest. Can't have it, but if you bring it back, you can use it temporarily. Alright. Yeah, I'm sure Golbez will give it back to me. He only wants to borrow it for a little bit. He's weak against metallic weapons. And nothing going on in the crystal room right now, they just told us. Alright, so now we'll head through the left door and check out the rest of the castle. Let's head upstairs, see if, a patient in here, in your 1-bed infirmary. Hey, it's Edward. It's a small world, I tell ya. Keep running it. We're just tripping over former members of our gang. No, we're good, Edward. He's like, but you only have 4 people in your party. Nah, we have a 5th. They're in the bathroom. Yeah, it's just conserve your strength. Yeah, that's shipwrecked, man. Wrecked us. I like it when Sid steps up. We sure do. It's pretty awesome. He knows about the Dark Elf. He says it like they used to date or something. Did you say Dark Elf? There's the twin harp that that lady back in the bushes told us about. Alright. Stalker is the lady. There you go. Edward's harp sitting there. This makes you want to sway back and forth. Just lovely. Alright. So to get to the cave. Actually, before we do that, let's take a little backtrack detour back to Baron and grab just a couple things. Blaze, do you have any recommendations as we're about to head into the magnetic cave, what we should maybe pick up?
As you've been warned, nothing metallic will work in the magnetic cave, basically stunning any characters with anything equipped, either weapons or armor. Don't ditch your good equipment altogether though, as we'll be able to re-equip it all at once we get to the boss, but yeah. For getting around the cave, I recommend giving Cecil, Yang, and Sid the karate outfit with leather caps and Gaia gear all around for Tellah, plus ruby rings across for the group. Offensively, it's less of an issue as I recommend running from all battles while inside. There's no point trying to fight or level grind when we're not at our fighting weight, but bows work for Cecil. Yang acknowledges when you get inside that his claws will work. Sid's wooden hammer works, as does Tellah's change rod, but again, I recommend Tellah's magic if you're trying to tangle with anyone, but mostly run from everything. Just grab the loot as the professor shows and get to that boss, at which point you'll be able to equip and use the good stuff once again.
Good call, Blaze. Thank you very much. Yeah, not my favorite part of the game. Give him, Karate Man, a karate outfit there, and headband. You're good, you're good, you're good. His claws will be okay. He mentions that, and put on the bow and arrow here. We're a little beat up, but we can, I'm not even gonna fire that thing. We won't have to slum it with this stuff for very long. So we're going to, we could stay at the inn, but there's a more economical way to get our health back, actually. So let's take the airship back. Northwest of Baron to Toroia, and then head north through the forest, and we'll find ourselves a Chocobo forest. Not too concerned about these low-level baddies killing us along the way. Maybe I should be. I think we'll be alright. Sound like we just get a backpack. Just something. Some way to keep our money. Just try to piece enough health. As long as Cecil survives. He's the one doing all the blocks anyway. So we're headed north to another Chocobo forest where we'll catch a ride on a black Chocobo who's able to fly over water to get us to the magnetic cave. There's some hidden stuff to be found there, so just follow along as we do that. But as we're doing that, Fluff, in honor of going to the Chocobo forest here, how about you give us some background on the Chocobo and just anything you got?
Chocobos first appeared in just the second Final Fantasy overall. Again, the Famicom era 1988 title rather than this game, when Koichi Ishii, who would go on to create the Mana series, was working at Square as an artist and game designer. Ishii owned a chick he bought at a festival market as a child, a pet he cherished until his parents gave the bird away to a neighbor one day while he was at school due to their belief that they could no longer care for it. Understandably upset, Ishii remembered his former pet fondly for many years. After joining Square in 1987 and working on the original Final Fantasy, when it came time to work on the sequel, he wanted to create an animal companion in the memory of his beloved childhood pet, specifically wanting to create a character which wouldn't speak, but still was capable of a real connection with the player. Ishii was purportedly unhappy with the limited role of the creature in both its debut in Final Fantasy II and Final Fantasy III for the Famicom, that he implemented the bird in a greater capacity when he directed his first title in Final Fantasy Adventure. A positive reaction to the Chocobo's greater role in that game from the fans prompted the feathered friend to become a bit of a recurring mascot in the Final Fantasy series moving forward, as it continued to evolve and exist in larger and different capacities, like the Chocobo racing and breeding minigame and side quest in Final Fantasy VII. It's just one of those adorable creatures that, I mean, who doesn't love a Chocobo?
Whoever they are, I don't want to know them. Yeah, this was just the worst thing when I was a kid. Always groaned once I entered this area. So yeah, we're just gonna grab the loot, but making a beeline straight for that Dark Elf, running from every fight. It's just not worth it. Some people like to make the argument for grinding here. It's just, can't use your stuff, your best stuff, on either side, then it's just not worth it. So let's spend as little time in here as possible opening this chest from the back. And actually, Fluff, if you could do anything to take my mind off of this, share some interesting facts about this game while we do this. Just follow along, class. Fluff, what do you got?
Okay, now let's talk different versions. Our version here in Final Fantasy II for the SNES is actually a bit different than the original Final Fantasy IV for the Super Famicom. Certain story elements were cut from the original Final Fantasy IV, like more of Kain's background and the relationship of a certain person on the moon's relationship to our lead character in Cecil. Of course, Nintendo of America's censorship policies were at play with some elements, like swapping out the Tower of Prayers in Mysidia to the Tower of Wishes, and replacing the effects/sorta elemental of Holy with white. They removed references or suggestions to death with certain characters, For instance, there's a scene later where a party member seemingly sacrifices themselves for the rest of the party, and their acknowledgement in the moment through the dialogue is cleaned up to be less suggestive, as you'll see. In a scene where a giant swinging scythe was set to kill Rosa, well, this was changed to a less graphic giant metal ball. Speaking of Rosa, they scrubbed references to Cecil and Rosa sleeping together. They even replaced an animation of the two kissing to hugging instead. They changed the outfit of a dancing girl in Baron from a bikini to a yellow dress, and there's a doozy relating to an adult magazine I'll cover later as well. All that aside, a lot of gameplay changes were implemented as well to simplify things. Many of the abilities for different party members were removed, as Blaze has already pointed out, typically because they were deemed to be less useful in battle. A lot of items were removed, like specific items to cure different status ailments were generally just replaced by an all-encompassing heal item. Just lots of little changes on those levels. These changes were likewise implemented into a version known as Final Fantasy IV Easy Type, which was a Japanese release a few months after the original release. In addition to most of these changes we experience in our version, the Easy Type buffs a number of pieces of equipment and weapons and armor to be marginally better, though there are occasionally some small trade-offs regarding the equipment. The Ancient Sword is replaced altogether with the Coral Sword, which boosts its attack power and accuracy, for example. While some bosses have marginally less health, some have marginally more. Actually, there are some instances where the Easy Type is actually more difficult, like the final boss using a dangerous ability when they get close to death, which isn't present in our version, thankfully, plus the fact that they removed a number of bugs present in our version, including the inventory hacks I covered earlier. I'm not convinced Square didn't put out all these different versions just to confuse us, but anyway. The game has been released many times in many forms in the years following its initial early 90s release, and most of these retain the original Japanese mechanics and story elements. This includes the 2005 Game Boy Advance version, called Final Fantasy IV Advance, which keeps the original content plus the bug fixes, but introduces new content, most notably the Cave of Trials, which is a unique 8th-floor dungeon which contains newly added weapons which work out to be the most powerful options for many of the characters in the game. While some of the new content was kept, the Cave of Trials was removed for 2021's Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster, which was a series of the first 6 titles in the main series. It was just a remake of all those games, but at least they made the pink tail easier to come by in that one. A frustrating item I've referenced before, at least in the context of our game, which the professor will talk about later.
Yes, I certainly will. Thank you, Fluff. Not looking forward to that, but I just wonder how we get attacked from behind or ever surprised. There's 4 of us. You know, I would argue we should never be surprised. You should always expect an enemy might come up behind you at any time, so maybe just have one of us, we just move with one of us facing out in all directions at all times. Cure 3, I think it's our first one of those. So we see the corpses, the cave floor, riddled with the corpses of those who had no non-metallic armor and or weapons to fall back on. So glad, even surprising us when they're right in front of us. How does that work? And there's one more area where you can pitch a tent, I believe, through here. Yeah, they give you plenty of opportunities. We don't really need it. Let's just make sure we're topped off in the health department. Get a save going here. 332, all right. Vamp girl, wait, no, we don't have to. We can hang out with her. All right, finally. Wow, it's commitment. He constructed this entire room before he even had a crystal. Or maybe made it around the crystal, but anyway, I digress. Dark Elf.
Alright, the Dark Elf comes in 3 phases. This first one is your standard no-win battle. Despite casting level 2 spells, they deal an unprecedented roughly 700 damage or so per party member until they go down. The second one only lasts a few whacks before he turns into some kind of serpent. At this point, have Tellah use Weak, which will get him down to next to 0 health. The next hit he takes from anyone else in your party will likely put him down.
Thank you, Gary. Got a ways to go before then. And this by design defeat here, yeah, level 2 spells don't do that kind of damage. Ironically, the weakest member in the history of our party is going to be the one to save us here. Uh-oh. You can't. My dear. Tellah, you're dead. Swoon. Still doing his little dance. Yeah, if I could only just swing my Slumber Blade. By which I mean my Legend Blade. Stay in bed, you cannot move around. Where are you going? You want us to die? Let the man get his harp. He's been completely irrelevant this entire game. Give him this one moment. You can hear this lovely music one more time. This becomes the backdrop, the soundtrack for the rest of this battle. It's kind of nice. What is this nasty music? He's more in the dubstep. He's a dubstep Dark Elf. Doesn't like the classics. Now the task of putting all our metallic stuff back on. Most importantly, the Legend Sword on Cecil. That shield on there too. You. Alright, let's test it out. All of a sudden, his spells have a lot less zip on them. I don't think the armor made that big of a difference. But we'll take it. Nice. 828. Hates that holy damage. Still got that trick, though. Me change. Good. Into a light elf? Because I changed too? Oh, no, that still looks pretty evil. Tasty. It's no 8 or 723. Alright, it's close to 723. Let's try that weak against you. See how you like it. Ooh, I like that. in which case this should do it. Good call. Down he goes. 1,500. 5,000 bucks. What? The music rage. Give me the crystal, the everlasting life. Almost feel sorry for Dark Elf. Maybe it wasn't so much of a wad. Alright, Earth Crystal. Back in our possession. Or actually, for the first time in our possession. Just feels such a waste now to, Kainazzo in here? I gotta go outside. Yeah, he made this entire crystal room. And he didn't even have a crystal yet. Or he threw it up immediately after getting that crystal. I don't know. Maybe just having the crystal creates the room around it. I don't know. Oh, I meant to use exit, I suppose. Just takes us back to that last area. Woo. Alright. Thankfully our black chocobo hung out. He's like Argyle and Die Hard. You're a lifesaver, Argyle. You're alright. He was a good guy, you know, because if John McClane's wife, if things didn't go so hot with her, he was ready to take him somewhere, you know. Makes it sound like he's gonna go home with him. You know, he's gonna take him to a hotel or something. Again, that makes it sound like they're gonna... If you saw Die Hard, Argyle's a good guy. As is this black chocobo. So this is not just our hired ride to take us anywhere we want. It takes us where we want to go, but then once we hop back on for the return trip, it immediately, like a pigeon, homing pigeon, just returns back home. All of a sudden, seems like you're able to fly over those mountains though, black chocobo. What's that about? Not surprised the black chocobo misrepresented themselves when they're a black chocobo. When they're a blue chocobo, which calls themselves a black chocobo. So, once again, make use of the white chocobo while we're here. So badly just want this to turn into the full-on chocobo song. They just keep teasing it. It's so cruel. Come here. I need the full piece. Here we go. Okay. See ya. Alright, they'll be grateful to see the crystal back for like a second. Oh god, don't walk up there, lady. Nice to hear this music again. Crystal Verts, you got it back, great. Looks like you've got the crystal, Cecil. Kane, go outside and get in your airship. And follow me. You talk to one of these ladies. Yeah, and she tells you can grab the treasure. So we'll go down and do that. There's the one exit which we did not take, the one set of stairs before. So we now have access to that. So let's pop to the right here once again before we head outside. And take the leftmost staircase this time. And this lady will ask if we have permission, and saying yes this time she'll believe us. Go ahead, take the treasure. It's not all that. There's a lot of it, I will say that, but it's just the basic stuff we've been finding most everywhere. The elixir is nice. The ether 2 is nice. Because I find it necessary. The double elixir is nice, actually. It's 2 of each in each column. Yes, I feel the need to qualify which are nice. Seems like this what used to be a jail cell. I'm not really sure what the layout of this room is about. Little frogs in the pond. Are they meant to be like the talking frogs that we saw in Silvera? I don't know. Let's not overthink it. Let's go outside. Got a lot of stuff at this point. We could probably stand to get rid of. Crossbow, the great bow. Again, probably use those ruby rings later on if you want to hold on to them. It's not a bad idea in some of the upcoming battles later on. Holding onto the swords, too, is not a bad idea in general. For those in the know. Put that Slumber Sword back on. We'll be getting an upgrade very shortly, though, actually. For my own sanity there. Might turn into a mad ogre if I don't do that. Then Cain, follow me to my place. The tower. Go immediately here. To the top of the tower. Better hurry up. You can actually just leave. If you're just like, nah, I'm good. I haven't known her for that long. You just go between those orbs and you'll warp out of here. So, most of the loot around here is pretty valuable. The fire armor right here. This is our first element-specific armor.
Alright, the fire armor is a good upgrade, but you need to be aware of who you're fighting while you're wearing it. Perhaps counterintuitively as compared to the weapons, elemental-based armor typically protects against the opposite elemental. So, in the case of this fire armor or flame mail, you'll actually take extra damage when encountering flame-based enemies and attacks, whereas ice damage will be reduced. I don't know that it's worth it to swap out your armor when you're about to battle, say, one of the elementals which goes against, by which I mean is the same as your armor, unless the majority of your team is clad in it, of course.
Good advice. Thank you very much, Blaze. Yeah, I'm not going to sweat it. And some monsters, but nothing we can't handle. Flame Dog. Shocker. So that would, yeah, because the armor, as mentioned, it works counterintuitively in that sense. That's why we're taking extra damage from the Flame Dog from that fire spell after just putting the fire armor on. Generally not an issue, but... And I think we're going to put you on ice, Flame Dog. It's like the nickname one of your friends insists on you calling him, like back in college or something. Call me Flame Dog. No, Steve. I'm calling you Flame Dog. I will equip this fire sword, though. Because that's a tasty, appreciable upgrade in our damage. Not a bad idea to make sure you're tapped up on health as we climb the Tower of Zot here. Sword Man. Just... well, what is he? He's kind of a man and he holds a sword. Done. Not sure how he stands like that. He's got kind of a Golbez feel to him. Fastest route is just to hang the bottom here. If you go through the middle, it's like being in a long queue at Disneyland. Just up and down and around. Not the most efficient way to cut through here. Hippie girl. Yep, they stuck around. They've made a lot of appearances throughout the series. Ice beasts. Or if they hang out much with the flame dogs. Maybe they keep them on separate floors. A witch, an hippie girl, and 2 ice beasts. Flame sword would work wonders on those ice beasts, but just cutting through, we're blazing through. Each of these little side doors here has some loot for us. Poison claws for Yang. Got that expression like someone's talking about him behind his back. He can, like literally, he can hear him. He's like, huh? What do you say about him? And fire shield. Do like all the matching sets for the different elementals on the armor. Not great when you get into a battle with someone who uses fire. In this case, but Earth Hammer. Let's pop that on the chief. Yeah, the professions or whatever you want to call it, not as impactful in this game as they were in, say, the original Final Fantasy, where we picked our, but just sort of just keeping that kind of branding going. He's a chief. He's a karate man. Karate sage. Pop the wizard outfit on Tellah. Ah, the puppets and the Marion net. I guess if they could fit that in. Just keep calling those in, you can earn some experience, but again, not that big of a deal. I guess in subsequent versions of this game where you could kind of set up the auto battle and everything like that, we didn't have that back in 1991. We had a rubber band around the A button, but even then, like in this game, it's not that effective on 99% of the enemies, so. Ice Liz. Here's our special field here. And mine as well. Haven't gotten rocked too bad, but pitch it just the same. Since we do have a boss coming up. Speak of the devil. Thank you. Thank you. Minions of Alba. Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy. Seems like a triplets that Fonzie would take out in Happy Days. But anyway, boss time.
Boss beater.
The most dangerous of the Magus Sisters is Cindy because of her ability to use Remedy and bring back either of the other sisters after you defeated them at will. As such, we want to prioritize Cindy. But this comes with the caveat that Sandy is going to attempt to cast a wall on Cindy every single turn to ensure that she can't be the target of Tellah's powerful level 3 spells. With that in mind, focus your physical attacks with Cecil and Yang on Cindy while using Sid's new Earth Hammer to cast a non-reflectable Earth spell on all the sisters, as this does more damage on average than his basic physical attack. As Tellah, I recommend casting fast on Cecil to increase his impact. Then wait for the second time Sandy casts Wall on Cindy, which will bounce off her wall, the existing wall, and land on someone else in your party. At that point, start casting your level 3 spell of choice on that party member. With little luck, it'll hit Cindy rather than one of the other sisters to take her down faster. Once she's down, it's open season on the remaining 2 sisters. All in all, not a difficult or dangerous battle.
Thank you, Gary. Of course, Cindy's the one with all the extra HP there in the middle. Nice stereo sound effects, by the way. Yeah, that Earth Hammer, just using that, it's good for just use a trunk there. Alright, it's not who I was hoping it would target. I was hoping it would focus on Cindy. Now Yang's got the wall on him. Sandy with her spear, Cindy with her kind of scythe there, and Mindy with the little, tiny little dagger. And she'll just bring her back. I don't think we'll be able to take out Cindy in time. Unless... Oh no. Her wall wore off. Did Cecil's wall wear off? Are you about to burn Cecil to a crisp? Yeah, you are. That's pretty funny. Yeah, thankfully this battle's not too dangerous otherwise. Well, now we just go ahead and put all of our... well, now she's back. Keep trying to bounce it off of Cindy. Earth is still working. And by the time I use this, they're gonna have a wall back up on Cindy, aren't they? Probably. Well, Cindy's taking a bit of a beating. She might go down in a second. There you go. Literally a second. Now it's just Sandy and Minnie, so no one to heal them up. She's still gonna cast the walls, though. Tellah might be able to get a Fire 3 off on Sandy before she casts a wall on herself. I feel like Mindy's about to go down too, actually. Yeah, this went kind of off the rails when when Tellah nuked. I know it's a different spell, but still, you know what I'm trying to say. Nuked Cecil. That might take out Mindy. No. Sure, have fun with it. Heal the attractive tall lady. Down she goes. There you go. Sorry, Tellah just roasted your girlfriend, Cecil. Done. Alright. And he comes back over to celebrate. No one wants to miss the celebration, even if you're confused. Delta attack failed. Alright, let's head back and save once again. Another tent going. As we have yet another one of the fiends coming up here. We hit these first 3 fiends pretty quickly, in quick succession. Tellah's like, what are you doing? You know what that means, everybody. Yep, strip Tellah down. As he's not going to be with the party for very much longer. Sadly. Actually, if they attack him right now, well, we didn't have to find out. I was kind of curious to see. Alright, might still find out. Jelly, slime, and cream. Just hanging out. Alright, pop through here. Just that kind of in-between room. And here we are. The crystal first. Give me the crystal. Handed over the crystal of the earth. Rosa, what are you talking about? It's like Fidel Castro. What $1 trillion bill? This is for Anna. Here we go. I want everyone to pay attention to Golbez's size right here, by the way. Especially scaled to our normal party member size Tellah. Why? No reason. No reason. Just remember, right now he's about the height of, I'd say, 4 to 5 party members, Golbez. I guess 5, because he's taken up the entirety of the screen here. Meteo. Do it. Call him a spoony bard too before you use it. I'm spending my life to defeat you. Now I know for a fact you don't have enough MP to cast this spell, Tellah. But alright. The adrenaline, man. Oof. Our first quadruple 9s. Wow. You just won us the game, Tellah. Naked, too. Took all your stuff. Use the Meteo. His last breath. Last spit. We got Kain back. Yeah. Stab him while he's hurt. Oh, or, okay. It's not that hurt. Huh? Why not finish me off? You. Who are you? I shall see you again. I don't know. He didn't seem to remember who Rosa was or that he had her, and now he's like, who are you? Golbez may be suffering from some early dementia. But anyway. Meteo did just enough to get us Kain back, Tellah. I don't know, we saw him break up. He did 4 9s. That's pretty impressive. We won't be able to do that for a couple hours. Maybe more. Open your eyes, old nag. Rest in peace with your daughter, Tellah. Huh. You know they're dead when they sprayed out like that. We'll pick up the vengeance for you. You with us, Kain? Want to get a sweet lance for you. Been carrying around. I'm tired of doing it. Yeah, you've been hypnotized. Yeah, to be your girlfriend. We know. Yeah, we can get into the awkward parts later. We gotta save her life. Wow. That was close. And look, 5 of us. Funny how that worked out. That's a nice little animation there. Getting cozy. Yeah, that's right, Kane. Like I said, we'll find you, lady. Cameron, did you watch me while I was changing earlier? It's alright, I'm not embarrassed. It's the kind of vibes I get from this. But anyway. Cecil's the fairest in this equation. Yeah, we need your Dragoon powers. Alright. Back to a 5-piece again. Pop this lance on Kane, and I guess reorganize the party too. Yeah, say Sid is probably the second weakest. Alright, so wind 65, 95 with the drain lance. So it's a good thing we stopped off at the castle of Eblan. And I'm gonna give her the great bow with the give her the white arrows. It's like getting the band back together music right here. I love it. Like the Gaia helmet. Marginally better. Which I mean appreciably. She can wear the karate outfit. We'll give her the wizard. And give you a silver armlet there. Looking good, looking good. How we doing on health? Let Rosa apply her trade here. It's just Yang. We're the only one that got hurt in that last fight. Maybe we just didn't heal up all the way. I don't remember. But anyway. Here we go again. About that third fiend. Valvalis of Air. Not betray. Should have gotten rid of you. There you go, Kane. It's a little hint at the strategy for this battle, but Valvalis.
Boss beater.
Valvalis isn't necessarily difficult, but she's a slow, frustrating grind of a boss. Once again, we have the mechanic of a boss countering physical attacks when they're in a specific animation, or in this case, when she's in her tornado animated form. The only way to break it is to have Kane jump, which is frustrating, there's that word again, due to the time between his turns. This boss also likes to use a couple spells in Weak and Ray, which reduce your HP to single digits and slowly petrify you, respectively. We also no longer have access to offensive spells to boot. Add all this together, and unfortunately the best strategy is to just slog through this one, getting hits in especially when the boss is not spinning, and keeping everyone's health ideally above 300 and healed when they're about to turn to or have already fully turned to stone.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, Square definitely loves their don't attack the boss in this form, in this phase. That trope. And even though it misses, she still comes out. I'm surprised her get up past the Nintendo censorship policies right there, North America. Fluff mentioned the girl in the bikini getting a more concealing outfit. Not the case here. Just can't not think Valvaline when I see that name. Get your car running its best. And Rosa is... I think she's all stone now. There we are. It's hard to tell until they're properly stoned. In context. There she goes again. Kane. Yeah. Let's stop her spin. Yeah, she's not necessarily even that dangerous. It is just a frustrating grind. That's the best way of putting it. Gotta stay on top of your health, but... It's a sweet Yang statue. Guess he's not completely statuified yet. Statuified? Alright, that's how you know when they're actually fully stoned, when they get down like that. But they can still be healed. Alright, she's reverted back to her phase where we can actually deal some damage. Yeah, it's kind of lame not having an offensive magic user in the party. As we go a little berserk here. Just a lot more grindy. Makes you appreciate how much damage Tellah was doing. There she goes again. Use your rocket boosts. What was it? Turbo Man, yes. Jingle all the way, anyone. That's what you start to talk about during this battle with Valvalis. That's how long it takes. Just bit by bit. How close are you? Don't feel like peeping. Although I guess if you're gonna peep on a boss, there's worse bosses to peep on. Man, even Kane's death animation looks cool. Need that helmet. Like we have a little crown now that we're a paladin too. It's just a good look. Last and the mightiest is left, Rubicant. But we won't run into him for a little while. We've got some time before we have to sweat that. No pun intended, with him being the fire elemental. You got it. Exit. Back in our room. I so want our maid to be having like a party here, having a hot date. We walk in, or warp in at a very awkward time. Oh, sir, I didn't think you'd be back tonight. This is Steve. It's like, come on, baby, I told you to call me Flame Dog. Oh, sorry. Not in front of my employer. But yes, there are dark crystals. The game is not over at 4 crystals. I always like this. It kind of felt to me like leaving Midgar for the first time in Final Fantasy VII. It feels like the game's just beginning. I mean, we have made quite a bit more progress than when you leave Midgar in Final Fantasy VII, but yeah, there is still a good chunk of this game left as we head to the underground with the magma key. That's right. But wait, it's back at the Tower of Zot. Remote control. Jeez. You never fail us, Sid. You are the man. It's a good question. He did seem a bit confused or conflicted about that decision. By the way, I've only got one bed. There's an inn outside of town. for what it's worth. Let's go. Alright, yes. To the underground for the, I guess, the second half of this game, if you want to kind of round it down to that. As we leave Baron. And Baron's a chill place now, as they said, as the Imposter King is gone and Golbez is just out being evil, trying to take over the world. This is a relatively chill place now, so yes. On to Agart to access the underworld. Alright, let's head to Agart, which is straight south from Baron, and use our fancy new magma key. So close to being Ugarte. You can stop off here in the observatory here on the left. As Corey starts researching, he gets all liquored up. I'm assuming that's the last thing that she said. Let's head upstairs. The only telescope in the entire game, but this is a nice shot right here. That pushing the Super Nintendo's visuals to their absolute limits. I'm Professor Corey. Research the moons. We have 2 moons. One has living creatures on it. It's turning red. Hope this doesn't mean anything bad. I was wondering how you can get back to his bed. Not for any weird reasons, but I was just out of curiosity. You can walk behind the telescope. He doesn't seem to know anything about the moon. Like there's creatures on it and they're starting to do stuff. I hope that's not bad. Alright, Professor Corey. From one professor to another, you have my respect. Alright, let's test out that bottomless claim for their well here in Agart. Checks out. Want to hear a dwarf say a-hole and throw the key back. Hit us in the face. Don't throw your garbage down here. I'm assuming this was a good thing. Or we just destroyed the entire world, or at least this part of it. Yeah, and then everything was fine again. 20,000 people dead, but now everything's fine. Don't get it twisted. Alright, let's hop back on the airship and explore into the underground. And immediately we find ourselves... Oh, the Red Wings again. Just having a scrimmage with the Colorado Avalanche there on the left. And we're right smack dab in the middle. Can you get us out of here, Sid? Maybe? Kinda? Yeah, what did you think would happen? I mean... Yeah, we're gonna lose our airship just so you could have a front row seat to World War III down here underground. Cecil. Rosa. All okay? Yeah, you were the only one that seemed to pass out. Can't fly this tub, though, so let's get out and check out the nearest castle, I suppose. Castle of the Dwarves. Lolly-ho! King Giot. You don't like Golbez, but you seem okay. I don't know, should you just... Oh, let's remember, Luca, she misplaced her dolls. I'm sure that won't come back. Authorized dwarves only. It excludes us. Dwarf items are strange. Can you use them? Got carrots. Nothing we particularly need. Get some cash from their pot there. Nothing like walking into a kingdom you've never been to. You're the foreigners, the outsiders, and immediately start stealing stuff. Together, 3, 2, 1, lally-ho! Alright, before we take on what's coming next, you know the drill. Strip down, Sid. It's never a good sign. But Sid will be leaving us in just a moment, actually. King of the Dwarves, Giat. 2 of the... We've already... Man, that Golbez works fast. There's only 2 left of the 8 now. Yeah. Wouldn't be much of a fight still. They seem to have at least 4 airships on their side. Alright, so Sid's gonna leave us to go wrap the airship in protective materials. Help it fly over lava. Kind of like a father figure to all of us, but Rosa as well. And then there were 4. As long as I'm well, so is the crystal. Yang? Powell, Porum, and Yang seem to have the 6th sense when it comes to this stuff. Anyone see that behind the in the background there? Hopping around? This could just be an elaborate ruse. We could be with Golbez. It's pretty clever if that's the case, but let's check the crystal room. Oh. I think we may have found Luca's dolls. It's locked. Oh, the dolls. Nothing creepy about a little creepy waltz. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is a frustrating battle we have coming up here in Calbrena. The Calbrena. Take this good news presents to Master Golbez. Let's dance, Calbrena. We get the creepy music for this battle until Cal and Brena become Calbrena, but Calbrena.
Boss beater.
Calbrena is another annoying one, as this battle can just go on and on unless you do enough damage in one or the other of its 2 phases. Initially, it's 3 Cals and 3 Brenas. If you're quick, you'll typically have enough time to get 2 of Yang's kicks in. Depending on his level, this will just about kill the 3 Brenas, though Rosa and or Cain might need to chip in with normal attacks. Cecil can focus on the Cals, as a couple of his hits should be enough to take one down. But it's probably inevitable that before you can defeat them all, the boss will turn into Calbrena, unless you're at an appreciable higher level than 20 with Cecil. Calbrena has a lot more HP, but with everyone focusing on this one target now, you should be able to defeat it before it splits back into the individual baddies and starts everything over again. Cast Berserk on Cecil, have Cain jump, have Yang attack, then after Berserking Cecil have Rosa either Berserk Yang or just join in on the attack. Assuming you're around level 20 with Cecil, you'll be able to take him down, but one more tip, try to keep Cecil at or near max health by the end of this battle, as it will help in the next boss battle, which will immediately follow this one.
Good advice, thank you, Gary. Yeah, it's just the worst demoralizing feeling when Calbrena goes back to Cal's and Brena's. If you don't get her in time. At least we get the typical boss music. Still have that animation. Should be knocking on the door for Kira 3 before too long. Cain, you're one of us. What if you could treat mental illness with a spell? What a wonderful world that would be. Oh, that... Alright, I think that was a little residual confusion there with that hit. He had that one loaded up, or he still miffed at us for dating Rosa. We'll let it slide. 4750, not too shabby. Yang, Rosa. Very nice. Master Golbez already knows this place. Oh, that didn't take long. Yeah, we don't have Tellah this time to bail us out with a kamikaze Meteo. Alright, Golbez. Man, he's big.
This one's difficult to lose, but not impossible. It really depends on how much health Cecil has. At the start, you're in an inevitable lose situation where Golbez will first paralyze, then ultimately do instant KO attacks on each of you save for Cecil. At this point, Rydia comes in to save the day. You won't have much time at this point, and while you can revive other party members, I find it's more efficient to just deal the roughly 2,000 damage you need to Golbez to quote-unquote win this one. Have Rydia use Titan ASAP before Golbez targets and probably kills her if possible, while you attack with Cecil. Between 2 attacks from Cecil and 1 Titan, you should dish out enough damage to squeak by this one.
Thank you, Gary. Yeah, this one does get a little tight. Thankfully, our Cecil is in good shape right now, near max health. Make note of how large Golbez is right here at the moment, by the way, though. I will reference this later. Aw, heck yeah, Rydia. Miss Dragon. I feel like Shadow had more than 648 health, but we'll take it. That mist blew my Shadow Dragon away. Nice. Heal as well. She like preemptively healed herself as well. It's Rydia, gang. She's back.
Now that Rydia's back in the party as an adult, she's got a variety of new calls, and she can summon. In addition to Chocobo, she has the power of her mom. Yes, the one the game never misses the chance to remind you that you killed. But Miss Dragon. This one hits all the enemies for some low-level damage. Shiva, which does ice damage to multiple targets. Indra, which does lightning damage to multiple targets. Jin, which does fire damage to multiple targets, and Titan, which does earth damage to multiple targets. When there's not an obvious weakness to an enemy or boss, I typically like Titan for what it's worth to dish out the most damage. Just note this is basically Quake, so it won't affect flying enemies.
Good rundown, thank you, Blaze. It's gonna be close, but I think we got this. Maybe one more hit. That'll do it. Nail biter. I like it. They have a little drama every now and then. 20,000 experience, and I don't hate that. Cecil getting all the XP, 3 levels out of that battle. And we learned heal. There's something about celebrating when your entire party is swooned all around you. Not saying it's in poor taste, but it's not in poor taste. So Rydia's back. She went to the land of the monsters. Yeah, we killed her mom. There's the Rydia ... again. Told you, don't recommend making that a drinking game. I regret making reference to that before. Ooh. Oh, I don't like that. Man, we don't have this trope, but the whole trope of like beating the boss but still losing the overall objective, I'm not a fan of that one. Just through some hand magic, he still makes out with the crystal. It's lazy story writing. Squaresoft circa 1991. I'll give you that one blemish. It's a masterpiece otherwise. Alright, so we gotta go to the sealed cave. Or we could steal all of the rest of the crystals that he's already gotten. I like that. We just need a sweet little diversion. And Fluff, I'm being told you have a relevant fact about this moment right now?
After the battle with Golbez, if you use the warp spell before leaving the throne room, you'll be transported back to the crystal room, where you can grab the crystal which was supposedly just stolen by Golbez. As far as the game is concerned, this is the same crystal as the final one which your team tracks down later in the sealed cave, thus allowing you to skip that entire dungeon. We obviously won't be doing that for the sake of walking you through the entire game, but I'd be remiss if I didn't reference this hack. Again, just make sure you don't exit the throne room before you cast warp, otherwise the spell will just send you outside of the throne room instead.
Thank you, Fluff. Yeah, the sealed cave is not my favorite part of the game. It's tempting, but there is some loot in there and, part of the walkthrough, so. A lot of freebies to be found around here. Especially now that we're friends of the Dwarves. Darn right. Man, Namingway always finds himself in the strangest of spots. He always gets around, though, that guy. Black belt. Some decent stuff. Stored right, and you gotta go all the way around for this one. It's sneaky, I like the way, and then you can go up and around to get full circle here. I like all the little hidden compartments and passages that seemingly every building in this guy. I don't know who the architect is in this world, but I don't know. It's like something out of an Agatha Christie novel. Golbez is gone. Many bad guys in the upper world? Yeah. There's some D-bags out there. Not gonna lie. I'm sure there's some down here as well. Alright, let's get this. I think we have enough room. We're gonna have to sell off some stuff. Got the door facts. It's a slight upgrade. Yeah. That's good. I already started helping myself, but thank you. $500. You can go down and around here, a little deceptive. Strength. Strength armlet. For any of the fans of just putting him on his dead body. When he finally comes to, did you undress me while I was swooned, Cecil? Don't ask awkward questions, Yang. Yeah, for all the Ghosts and Goblins fans out there, we got our Strength bracelet. Raising our strength. I think we can all agree that's basically a good thing. Certainly for our main attacker of the party. Alright. Want to grab a couple wizard helmets. Well, let's make some room first. Couple whiz helms for the ladies. Sitting on so much junk. But we're not a fat Chocobo hoarder. Not on this channel. Other channels, certainly. They'd load it all on that fat Chocobo. I just can't be bothered. That's the main thing. If I'm not urgently carrying it on me at all times, it's probably not worth carrying on me at all. That's how I approach this. Wish I could sort from the sell menu, but a couple runes for the ladies as well. I think we already got a wizard on Rosa, so just get this one for Rydia. She's not even wearing a helmet right now. There you are. Looking much better. Yeah, the whole party's gonna come too after we bring them all back. And they're like, why are we all wearing different clothes except for you, Cecil? What did you do? Again, don't ask awkward questions, rest of the party. Freed up a bit more stuff. Silver stuff, that's so passe, that's so overworld. It's not in. Another Dwarf Axe. We could give that to Kain in place of his Drain Lance. I'm not liking the hits which the Drain Lance doles out across his stats, but I don't know. It's kind of nice having him being able to like keep on top of his own health through jumps and stuff, so you can split these two areas and get to Cafe Howdy. I was ready for some Bowie when he said let's dance, then you get this instead. It's like the Eeyore suite right here. And Fluff, I'm told you have some more information about this room.
There's a secret passage between the weapon and armor counters, which leads to a special area known as Cafe Howdy, where you can enjoy a little dance. Stepping on a tile in the lower right area of the room in the original Japanese and more modern versions of Final Fantasy IV unlocks a special area known as the Developer's Room, where you can find sprites which represent the developers of the game. Perhaps the reason it was cut from our version was the existence of an adult magazine called Lustful Lally Ho, which, when you looked at it, caused the screen to change colors before fading in and out, with the magazine suddenly being gone. Yeah, I could see how that one might break from Nintendo's censorship policies in America at the time.
Yeah, that one was a no-brainer. Thank you very much, Fluff. Carrot. There's a lot of carrots here, actually. Probably because whenever you see a 2x2 kind of square, you know that there's a fat chocobo lurking about. Smells like chocobos. It's the working title of Nirvana's song. I figured just not enough mass appeal to that title. It's very niche phrase, smells like chocobos. Wasn't sure if we'd get it. I would have listened. And when you're ready, have permission. Okay. I don't think I answered him one way or the other. There's no switch there. But pop out the back here. And a couple more treasures on the way out. And this will lead us to the back side of the tower. Three cabins for the pants. I think we more than doubled our cabin total right there. Yeah, that was gonna bother me. Monsters are on the ground are strong. I haven't found that to be the case so far. Maybe you're just super weak. Have you ever thought about that? I'm brave, but you're braver. Heard that in Leon's voice from Star Fox 64. You're good, but I'm better. I love it. Love a diversion. Alright. So you might be wondering why we haven't healed anyone, why we're just walking around with 4 swooned bodies. We got their chamber pot. Sorry, not chamber pot. Restorative pot. And everybody's tip-top condition now. So let's head left here now and then north to get to the tower. I would like the jazzy, adult contemporary, laid-back, low-key piece of music that is the underground theme here. Armadillo. Get it? 8 characters is 8 characters. I assume that's the limit for our own names. I don't know. Cecil's kind of pushing it with 5. Cecil. However you like to pronounce it at home. But if we went to naming way, I don't know. Could we get 8 letters? Just don't know. Straight up here. I feel like it'd be hot down here. I don't know. No one seems to be complaining, but a lot of lava. There they are, the Dwarven tank unit. Just as we discussed, creating a nice little diversion as we walk right in the front door. Not sure that's how diversions work. I think you try to go for a back door in that case, but... Alright, the Tower of Babil. Lots of loot to be grabbed here. Lots of chests with monsters as well, actually. A lot of alerts. Flame dog. We make the joke before that someone's college roommate always insisted on calling them flame dog. Hate being surprised, hate being back attacked. I think we can get through probably another hour or so in-game without having to grind. Certainly, our levels should be holding up pretty well for us through the tower, at least. Besides which, there's better places to grind. Safer, more convenient places as well. Which we'll discuss once we finish up with this portion. On to the second floor. Flame Man and Flame Dog. Flame Man's best friend. Vice versa. Bandana. Yang comes to mind. Marginal boost. And give him the Thunderclaw for some of the baddies around here. Alert being one of them, the tech baddies. Robo baddies. We all topped off here. Here we go. Alert.
Alert won't attack you unless you attack it, at which point it will initially call either a Stone Man, a Chimera, a Naga, or a Flame Dog, then subsequently attack you with a weak counter called Beam. Basically just attack, ideally with Cecil and Yang's Thunderclaw to take it down in a couple turns of this, then turn your attention to the enemy.
Good call, Blaze. Thank you very much. It's our old friend, the Stone Man, or was that Staleman, I guess? I don't know. Square did that a lot, using the same basic animations, just changing the colors ever so slightly. Guess this is maybe a bit more brown. That was a bit more of a reddish color. Of course, Dragon Warrior was doing that before anybody with the regular slime, red slime, all the spin-off colors. That thing on his knee. Should probably get that checked out, Stone Man. By whatever your equivalent of a dermatologist is. Should probably get that checked out too, sorry. Actually, you know what? Cancel the appointment. Put you out of your misery there. Yeah, we could do better with the experience. Blizzard. Again, it's probably better overall, the Blizzard Lance versus the Drain Lance. Despite the attack trade-off, it's just, yeah, it's all those minuses which we get with the Drain Lance, which affect its accuracy in particular and other things. That's a lot of Flame Dogs. But we'll stick with it for now. Don't have a flame-themed boss coming up or anything. Just a lot of alerts. A lot of Flame Dogs, Flame Men. But since we're running for most of these, equipment doesn't really matter all that much. Yeah, Stone Man probably sees a geologist, actually. Better said. Must we go through this every time, alert. Chimera. Chimera squad. About that XCOM 3. Am I right? It should come out. Finish that thought. I should probably just be jumping with him, but it's so much easier just to hold down that A button. Get a little lazy at times. Come on, Kane. Come on, Yang. Come on, everyone but Cecil. That's my pep talk for the group. Blaze, how dare you use one of our TA's names against us in such a... You killed Yang. Alright. Saying I should take you seriously. Likes going to the well on that one. It's a good move, don't get me wrong. If I were Chimera, I'd probably use that every single turn. That's more experience for us, right? Ice Brand. In Cecil's case, that is a clear upgrade. Plus 10. About that Cure level 3. Look at XCOM 3. Cure 3, Rosa. We're a little under-leveled, but I'm not worried about it. You can get through it here with Cecil at 24. And everyone just kind of in that range. We're not going to be embarrassing any bosses, but we'll get by okay. A lot going on there. Tortoise and Black Liz. It's a big place. We come back here later. There's floors we can't even reach in this place just yet. Tower of Babil. One of those most ubiquitous locations from history actually showing up in games. Am I just referring to this in Illusion of Gaia? Maybe, but two of my favorites. So they certainly come to mind. Stock this place, huh? Archer bow. Upgrade for Rosa. Bows are always just kind of like, because if you're not casting magic with your magic users, you know, like, what are you doing? Bows are mostly just, unless you have a special elemental that your target is going to be weak against, it's just, you know, it's not much to it. Nothing really get excited about. But I guess 100 damage is better than 50 damage, right? Math checks out. No. No, it looks like we're intimidated by an egg right there, but You stab it, it'll hatch into something, Lamia or something. Appreciate them installing that for travelers, hikers coming through, tourists who just want to see the Tower of Babil and are surviving the throngs of enemies coming at them before you head up there. Pop in a couple of these. Rooms here for some loot. Another alert. Yeah, they boosted a lot of stuff in the remakes. You see that Thunderclaw putting up good numbers. Doesn't have the same bite on the Naga. But they don't have that much health to begin with, so. Level 25. Ice Shield. Kind of nice to have that later. Have, like, the fire armor, the ice shield, and then some diamond stuff to round out so you can have all the elemental protections. We'll be prioritizing that a little bit later. Like a crit on this guy, Yang? Yeah. Flame Dog. Flame Dog, meet Ice Brand. Just want Cecily to turn off here, see how much damage we're going to be putting up. 1700? It's my window. Say 300 on either side. Ah, so close. 2145. Tasty. As mentioned, it's a relatively rare thing, or fire shield with the ice armor. It's a relatively rare thing in this game to have bosses which are genuinely weak against certain elementals. I feel like it's a bit lighter in this game versus certainly other RPGs. I don't know if I paid that close attention to the other Final Fantasies, but I feel like generally speaking, you run into a lot more bosses where this one's weak against lightning because it's, you know, it's a robot or something. More fire bosses, alright, ice, and so on and so forth. Usually more complex systems too than just fire, ice, and lightning. Chimera Flame Man. The dragon part's like, what are you guys looking at? What are you attacking? That droopy neck. We'll come back for you, Rydia. These guys will take care of you. Let's get Rydia back on her feet. Play a little loose here since we're running away from everything, but and you'll find this door is locked or inaccessible to us right now. We'll come back. What a Chimera Flame Man pairs. It's just not worth it. Yeah, there's other parts of the underground, just really just in the overworld, if you will, of the underground, which the battles, which will earn each party member 2,000 to 3,000 without much of a challenge. And then going into a couple of the caves, the side quest areas, that's where we'll be making our mark. I'm partial to the Sylph Cave myself, but we'll get there when we get there. It's not too shabby that we've honestly put off grinding at all, save for that tiny little stretch on Mount Ordeals when we had just become a paladin and we're at level 1 once again. Spent, what, maybe 10 minutes there? Something like that? 5-10 minutes? It's really not bad. I know that's probably the third or fourth time I've said that, but it's just the appreciation in me coming out that this is not an extremely grindy game. So, yeah, 5 or 6 hours into this, maybe 5 hours before you have to really roll up the sleeves and do a little bit of grinding. And that's from running from all the battles as well. So, which I would count as grinding if we were going that route, but prefer going to a good spot so you can pick and choose who you're fighting. We're getting close. 8 floors. Certainly the tallest building here in this world. All right, Dr. Lugae. Whatever, Dr. Lugae, it's Lugae. And there's Rubicant, the final fiend. Get the creepy waltz music too. Weird guy. Hush. Respect Dr. Lugae. And Gary.
The squirrely-looking Dr. Lugae and his Arnold Schwarzenegger-looking Frankenstein monster are not too dangerous. The battle will go a bit differently depending on who you defeat first, but I recommend using Rydia's Titan to deal over 1,000 damage to both of them simultaneously. If you take down Balnab first, the Doctor will bring in Balnab Z, but the strategy doesn't change. Once you dish enough damage, he'll do a targeted explosion on a member of the team, which he'll instantly kill. After this, you'll fight Lugae one last time with a bit more HP, but again, same strategy. And can get some big hits in with his Thunderclaw, as well to supplement the damage Cecil and the rest of the party are dishing in every phase. Just keep it up, take him down.
Will do. Not me, you idiot. Balnab. Grrr. Beat them up. You know how you do. Just like you did in that bar the other night when that man said Budweiser was not the king of beers. You flew up the handle for some reason. Alright, Titan, this should do it. I mean, not do it, but this is the move right here. Oh, yeah. 4 figures is still pretty good at this point in the game. It's tasty damage. I must oil him. I didn't do any status effects on him, Doctor. Urgh, he didn't like that, Doctor. Did you mean to cure him? The different... Lugae kind of looks like a goat rat or something in the face and the arms. Yeah, as mentioned, it depends. It just looks like a chicken robot now. I don't know what that is. Balnab Z. Yeah, a lot of different routes that this battle can go. But doesn't matter much for our purposes. Titan's still dishing. I think Titan wins the battle of roided up creatures between him and Balnab. Certainly since Balnab's dead already. A robot chicken, even better. Bok, 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 bok. You mean to hit that, Doctor? Who's that gonna kill? Rosa! Kane looked up for a second. Alright, real strong is coming out from Dr. Lugae. Final form. You about to drop the mutagen on your head, Super Shredder style? Should probably just stick to offense here, but... And Titan's costly. There he is. Looks like some of the, yeah, it's not great. He looks like some of the skeleton ghoul enemies that you fought in the first Final Fantasy, kind of just beefed up a little bit. 8 more bits. You can beam us all you want. Yeah, that's still getting it done right there. The lightning attack. Something about that sword, the sound effect, and the graphic on the Ice brand makes me feel like it's like a dentist tool. There you go. Not long now. Like when the dentist pulls out that little pick and just like chipping off the plaque from the teeth. Pay attention right now. Just me? Well, anyway, got the job done. 3,000 XP across the board. Love to see that. Lugae down. Blink, that's a good one. Got the tower key. Connects the ground and underground. Rubicon has already moved all the crystals of the upper world. I'll annihilate the dwarves. With his super cannon. Man, Squaresoft loves their super cannons, don't they? Sister Ray. Those are the two which come to mind right now, but still. Round of heals for the party. 20 MP. A little pricey. I guess considering it cures all ails. It's not too shabby. Who else needs some? Good. Warp device, but we can't use it. That would be too logical. Send us back down to that locked door that we saw a couple floors down. Three or 4 floors down. No, I'm not gonna fight. There's no serious treasure to be grabbed. Tempted to speed this up. Thankfully, it's not too far. Especially if we don't get any random encounters along the way. Probably safer to just pitch a tent here. Get that MP a little closer to being topped off. Strictly speaking, it's not that dangerous from here on out. No more bosses till we have a chance to properly rest. Medusa. Alright. Something different. Medusa hanging out with the Stone Man, that just, I mean, that kind of fits, right? It kind of works. Did 5F? Yeah. Alright, so it's that time again. Not a bad idea to unequip Yang, strip him down. Sadly. It's a nasty spell. Didn't feel any better the second time. Dang, that was the exact amount of health. Didn't think that's how Blaze worked, but... That's why we hit the tent right there. Alright. Let's get the claws. The bandana. What are you doing? This never ends well. Stop, please. This is your call this time, Yang. If it were up to me, I wouldn't have to strip you down. Tower key here. There is one short little battle here. Goodbye, dwarves. Your fun is over. Just 3 dark imps at the helm. It's hardly worth going into an actual battle for this, but that's fine. How much damage you can do now that we stripped you, Yang? Not much. I think I could have guessed that one. There you go. Nice to see it when it works. $1160, that's pretty good for 3 relatively weak dark imps. How about this? No, we just killed you. You shouldn't be able to do that. It's a pet peeve of mine. Saw each of you die, but that's fine. Yeah, I don't know how Yang just knows what to do here, but... Pretty good slap considering he didn't have any of his claws there. Alright, people need to stop sacrificing themselves in this party. First Palm and Porum. Now Yang. And the worst thing than losing Yang is not being able to warp here. You serious? How about an exit? I'm speeding it up this time. They usually do this when there's something going on at the exit, like at the sealed cave. You can't warp out of there either, or exit. Triple speed? I don't hate it. Don't hate this piece. Yang's probably fine. He's just a little explodey. He's just swooned, right? Just give Eris a Phoenix down. Now the evil dolls. Yep. Every time. You have amused me a lot. It's just an awkward sentence for some reason. It's all for play, kids. Farewell. What are you doing? Oh, well that's fine. We're going the other way anyway, so... That's fine. Oh, okay, it caught up to us. Oh yeah. That's good. Just like when Neil swooped down and rescued us when we were falling to our deaths in Illusion of Gaia. There's always introductions to be had in this game. The party's always... People are always dropping in, dropping out, sacrificing themselves. Modified the Red Wings. Iserman got some work done. He's been hitting the weight room in the off-season. Get us out of here, Sid. Can't take that much more, Captain. Close the hole with this bomb? No. See our children. Oh, we weren't gonna have. We were just gonna be dinking. Wait, what are you doing? No, people need to stop sacrificing themselves. Ah, it looks like she pushed him. Not Sid. Oof. I mean, that was pretty cool. That's a cool way to go out. If I can pick, that's how I'd do it. Ideally to save the world, but yeah. God, people are dropping like flies. Palom, Porum, Sid, Yang. Is it me? Guys? Change my aftershave or something? Yeah, let's head back to Baron. Get this thing modded. And this is where we'll break, and we'll see you in part 3 of this Final Fantasy IV walkthrough right here on Video Games 101. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and comment on this video, and click subscribe if you haven't already, as this seriously helps me to keep making great content for you.